Good drivers don't just hop in their vehicles and go. You always check to make sure your vehicle is safe and ready for the road first. Craftsmen are only as good as their tools. To be driven safely, a car must be safe to begin with. The point is, driving actually begins before you even start the car. As you approach a car, take a few seconds to check around it, just to make sure there's nothing that could get in the way of the vehicle or its tires. Anything just behind the car will be invisible from the driver's seat. Sometimes animals lie in the shade behind a vehicle. But the greatest risk is small children, who often find the driveway a great place to ride and play. And it can be tragic if you miss seeing them nearby. It's also a good idea to check the car itself for signs of tire damage. Each tire is inflated with air, and tire pressure not only affects fuel mileage, but it also greatly affects the life of your tires and the traction that they provide. A tire that is underinflated may still look perfectly normal, so air pressure in the tires, including the spare, should be checked with an accurate tire gauge at least once a month. Tire pressure should be tested when the tire is cold, before it has been driven. It's also a good idea to keep a tire pressure gauge in your car. That way you'll always have it handy. But how much pressure do I need in my tires? You can find your vehicle's recommended air pressure in the owner's manual or on the placard that's typically located on the driver's door. For this car, the vehicle manufacturer recommends 35 psi, or pounds per square inch. Make sure to check your tire pressures on a regular basis. Driving with your tires at their recommended psi will ultimately save money and keep you safer. Another important issue related to your tires is the depth of your tire tread. Basically, the tread needs to be deep enough to drive safely. The purpose of tire tread is to provide traction. When tires don't have enough tread, it's much more likely that a driver will lose control of the vehicle in wet or slick conditions. On wet surfaces, adequate tread evacuates water from under the tires, helping to maintain contact between the tire and the roadway. There's a simple check that you can perform to see if your tire tread is safe for the road. Just take a quarter and place it into several tread grooves across the width of the tire. If part of George Washington's head is always covered by the tread, your tires have more than 4/32 of an inch of depth remaining and are safe for use. But if the top of Washington's head is exposed at any point, you should replace the tires. Tires aren't the only important things to regularly check on your vehicle. There are a few other things to monitor as well, such as leaking fluids. To start, check the engine oil. Oil is the lifeblood of the engine. It helps to keep all of the engine parts lubricated and running at normal operating temperatures. After parking your vehicle on a level surface to get an accurate measurement, locate your oil dipstick. The exact place where you check your oil will vary with each car. Consult your owner's manual for the location of the oil dipstick. Once you locate it, pull it out and wipe it off on a cloth or a paper towel. Then, gently replace it all the way in. Pull it out again and take notice of the oil fill mark on the dipstick. If the oil is in this range, you're okay. If the oil level is below this mark, you should add oil immediately. Again, the type of oil you should use is located in the vehicle owner's manual. But be sure not to overfill it, as this can cause severe damage to the engine. Also, visually check that there's enough brake fluid. Find the cylinder that holds the brake fluid and check the level on the side. If the fluid is too low, you may have a brake fluid leak, or your brakes may have worn out and need to be replaced. Address either of these immediately. Also, make sure you have enough windshield washer fluid. You don't want to run out when you need it most. If the washer fluid tank is hidden from view and you cannot check its level, go ahead and add some fluid during your weekly inspection. Finally, your vehicle's antifreeze helps prevent your car from overheating or freezing. You can check the fluid level by locating the antifreeze reservoir tank and looking for the indicator that's typically on the side. Check your owner's manual for the exact location and procedure. Developing the habit of checking your vehicle's critical components weekly can help prevent breakdowns and lower the overall cost of driving. But holding off on maintenance is a bad idea. That's because it's always way more costly to repair something than it would have been to prevent it from breaking in the first place. As you can see, it doesn't take that long to perform the checks each week, and you'll have less to worry about when you're on the road. Take care of your vehicle, and it will help take care of you. This is a guided missile waiting to be launched. In a head-on collision, articles on the rear window shelf will fly forward until they hit something. The same is true for items on the back seat. If it has to stay in the car, put it on the floor behind the front seat. All large items belong in the trunk. And don't forget these. In cold or wet weather, you may have to clear moisture from the inside too, but keeping it off requires help from the defroster. Set the function control to the defrost position, usually this symbol. Turn the temperature to the warmest position and put the fan on high. If condensation keeps forming, the air conditioner will help remove moisture from inside the car.